This is the Cook and Eat Show, and this episode is called What's in My Fridge. This is where I put together snacks and meals from stuff around my kitchen. Sometimes there's a plan. Most times I'm just making it up as I go. Let's see what happens.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cook and Eat Show. Today in my fridge, I had leftover tortillas, and in my pantry, I had black beans, and the other day I picked up some enchilada sauce. And I figured, how can I use these up? Not making more tacos. I'm kind of sick of tacos. I didn't want to incorporate any seafood. So with that in mind, I decided, why not make some vegetarian enchiladas and either incorporate the beans inside or put them on the side of it. We'll see. Not too sure yet. Let's take a look at the ingredients. I wanted to make the enchiladas pretty hearty, and one of my favorite legumes to use to do exactly that is lentils. I have green lentils today, but lentils come in several colors, including red and yellow. Lentils are an excellent source of fiber and protein, and honestly, they're really easy to cook. You just boil them. They cook pretty quickly too. When you soak them, as I've been doing, in a different container, it also reduces that cook time down to almost nothing. I'm also going to be using brown rice, which is a really great source for calcium, potassium, and it also has fiber. And black rice. This is one of the newer things that I found and decided to try out in the store. I love rice, and I really like trying out different kinds of rice. What's really great is that it has iron, and for those who have to watch their sugar levels or are just conscientious about these things, it's really great for insulin regulation. Something I did not know until recently. As a plot twist, I decided, why not see what happens if I could incorporate carrots into an enchilada? I'm not sure what this is going to turn out like, but we'll see what happens. And lastly, I had a green bell pepper that is kind of sort of getting a little wrinkly, and I wanted to use that up. Plus, I just love green bell peppers. I had 2 broccoli crowns that were on the softer side. It was about time I get rid of the carrots, broccoli, and try to incorporate them into my next meal. Let's take a look at some of the spices and seasonings that I'll be using today. To keep it simple, I've got paprika, marjoram, savory, am I saying that right? Cumin, onion powder, and a little sea salt and pepper. Let's get started. I'm kind of guessing that the carrots are going to take quite a bit of time to chop up. Since that's going to take the majority of my time, let's start with something easy. What I think might be a great addition to this would be corn. And I happen to have frozen corn. So I'll probably end up adding some frozen corn. What's nice about bell peppers is, honestly, especially the green ones, I feel like take on flavor so much better. And they just seem more savory. I feel like bell peppers, especially the green ones, frequently show up every single time I'm going grocery shopping. They're pretty much just by default on my shopping list. And funny thing is, I used to hate bell peppers, and I especially hated green bell peppers. I don't know what I was thinking. I feel like in a lot of ways, the things that we may not like eating are simply because we haven't experienced that food in a way that would be enjoyable. Alright, now it's time to cut carrots. Not too excited. Let's clean off our workspace. I really like having flexible cutting boards. They kind of suck to cut on, so I wouldn't recommend just having these, but they're really great for just being able to kind of pour things into a bowl. or right into the pot or skillet or whatever it is. So I kind of have quite a bit of carrots that I finished cutting up and still a lot more carrots left over. So instead of cutting up all of these carrots, I'm going to spare myself that torture and just use this much, because as far as the bell peppers and broccoli, I have quite a bit of that as well. And that's also in addition to the rice and lentils. To avoid having too much excess or overstuffing them too much, I'll just pause here. Let's get these things into a pan and start cooking. I'll be using avocado oil. What I like about it is that honestly, you don't taste it. There are some oils you cook with and you kind of taste the oil as you're eating. With this one, I feel like it just burns off so quickly that honestly, I don't taste as though there's just this oiliness to it. Maybe it has something to do with that high smoke point. If it's on sale, I would recommend trying it out. Otherwise, any sort of cooking oil will work. Alright, so after more carefully reading the instructions on the enchilada packet, it says that I will actually need to bake these. Of course I need to bake them. This whole packet was meant for 8 tortillas, corn tortillas specifically. Not a fan of corn tortillas, yes. And I have 4 flour tortillas, so let's just sauce it up. In hopes of an easier cleanup after this, I've decided to put some parchment paper into my baking sheet. I've also decided that I think I want to include the black beans, but maybe just around the sides, because it's meant for 8 tortillas to be pretty closely packed in here. I'm thinking there's going to be a little too much breathing room for the 4. So while I was cooking the vegetables, I was also cooking the lentils and brown rice and black rice in my rice cooker, and I almost forgot about them. So they're a little bit softer than I'd like. But let's roll these into a tortilla and see how that goes. Alright, now it's time for the sauce. And I've actually never used the sauce before, so I am really hoping this turns out delicious. This is looking really good, so I'm excited to put this in the oven. Well, that's pretty much it. Once this cools down and I can bite into it and hopefully love it and let the deliciousness just feed my soul, I will let you all know what that's like in the description. That's all for today's Cook and Eat show, and this has been What's in My Fridge.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Thanks for watching. Till next time, keep eating.